From trauma to triumph, unleashing your inner phoenix. Welcome to the Black CEO podcast, where we dive deep into stories that inspire, challenge, and transform. Today, we have the extraordinary privilege of sharing insights from our recent interview with Lacole Smith, a beacon of resilience and hope in a world often darkened by trauma. Lacole's journey from the depths of despair to the heights of triumph is not just
a story. It's a rallying cry for anyone who's ever felt broken beyond repair. Her unwavering spirit and dedication to helping others rise from their own ashes have made her a true catalyst for change, touching countless lives and redefining what it means to overcome adversity. Imagine, if you will, a perfectly ordinary day. The sun's shining, birds are chirping, and you're cruising down the highway, your mind a whirlwind of to-do lists and daydreams. Then in the blink of an eye, your world explodes into a symphony of screeching metal and shattering glass. Two 18-wheelers collide with your vehicle, one from behind, the other nearly head on. In that moment, life as you know it ceases to exist. This wasn't a hypothetical scenario for Lacole Smith. It was her reality, the starting point of an incredible odyssey from trauma to triumph. As I sat across from Lacole during our interview, I was struck not just by the intensity of her story, but by the fire in her eyes, the unwavering strength in her voice. She wasn't sharing a tale of victimhood, but a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Great, another inspirational story. But my trauma, it's different. It's too deep, too painful. I hear you. I see you. And let me tell you something, trauma doesn't discriminate, but neither does the potential for triumph. Your pain is valid, your struggle is real, but so is your capacity for resilience. Let's take a moment to acknowledge something crucial. When you're in the depths of trauma, the idea of triumph can seem like a cruel joke, a mirage in a desert of pain. It's easy, oh so easy, to feel stuck, to believe that your pain is the entirety of who you are. Trust me, I get it. We've all been there in some way or another. But here's the kicker. Our darkest moments don't have to be the end of our story. They can be the beginning of our greatest chapter. Don't believe me? Let me introduce you to Hannah Booker. Hannah's life was a nightmare straight out of a horror movie. Years of abuse, addiction, and loss. She hit rock bottom so hard she left a crater, feeling hopeless and wanting to die. Sound familiar? Maybe you've been there. Or maybe you know someone who has. Hannah's story could have ended there in that pit of despair. But, spoiler alert, it didn't. With the help of the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, Hannah did more than just turn her life around. She rewrote her entire script. She attended rehab not once but twice. She dove headfirst into life skills and parenting classes, therapy sessions that peeled back layers of pain she didn't even know she had. And today, Hannah is 2 years sober, has regained custody of her children, and works at a treatment center, becoming the lifeline for others that she once desperately needed herself. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about Steve Bacon. If Steve's childhood was the kind that makes therapists wince, the kind that could have been a one-way ticket to a life of limitations and regret. But Steve, he looked at his traumatic past and said, "Not today, Satan." Instead of succumbing to his history, he chose to invest in his future through personal growth. The result, he built $1 million business and now shares his story, inspiring others to unleash their limitless potential. Steve's journey is a middle finger to the notion that our past dictates our future. It's a reminder that we have the power to rewrite our own stories, to turn our pain into purpose. And then there's Joy. Yes, that's her real name. And boy, does she live up to it. Joy's story of triumph over a traumatic brain injury is a masterclass in the power of community and support. Her injury didn't just affect her, it sent shockwaves through her entire family. But instead of fracturing under the pressure, they became an unbreakable unit. They sought help, supported each other, and found moments of lightness in the darkest of times. Joy's story teaches us that we don't have to face our traumas alone. In fact, it's often in reaching out and connecting with others that we find our greatest strength. These stories, along with Lacole's, highlight three crucial lessons that I want tattooed on your brain by the end of our time together. First, resilience isn't just key, it's the whole damn locksmith. No matter how severe the trauma, there is always a path to recovery and triumph. Your resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose to get back up after life knocks you down, you're not just surviving, you're evolving. You're becoming the superhero of your own story. Second, seeking help isn't just crucial. It's a superpower. Whether it's professional help, support groups, or personal networks, reaching out for assistance is vital in overcoming trauma. I know. Asking for help can feel scarier than skydiving without a parachute. It might feel like admitting defeat. But here's the truth bomb. Asking for help is one of the bravest, strongest things you can do. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're ready to reclaim your life. And third, sharing your story isn't just powerful, it's world-changing. When we share our journeys from trauma to triumph, we're not just talking. We're lighting beacons of hope in the darkness. We create a ripple effect of resilience and inspiration that can change lives far beyond our own. Your story, yes, yours, has the power to be someone else's lifeline. Now, I can almost hear the gears turning in your heads. That's all well and good, you're thinking, but how do I actually do this? How do I move from trauma to triumph in my own life? Excellent question. Let's break it down, shall we? Step 1, acknowledge your trauma. This might sound simpler than a two-piece puzzle, but it's often harder than quantum physics. We're so good at burying our pain, at plastering on a smile and pretending everything's fine. But healing starts with honesty. It starts with looking your trauma in the eye and saying, yes, this happened to me, and it hurts like hell, but it doesn't define me. Step 2, seek support. Remember what we said about asking for help being a superpower? This is where you put on your cape. Reach out to a therapist, join a support group, confide in a trusted friend. You don't have to do this alone, and newsflash, you shouldn't try to. Even Superman had the Justice League. Step 3, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself for crying out loud. Healing isn't a straight line. It's more like a Jackson Pollock painting. There will be good days and bad days. On the tough days, treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer your best friend. Would you tell them they're weak for struggling? No? Then don't say it to yourself. Step 4, set small, achievable goals. Triumph doesn't happen overnight. It's built day by day, small victory by small victory. Maybe your goal for today is just to get out of bed. Guess what? That's okay. Celebrate that victory like you just won an Olympic gold medal. Because in the grand scheme of your healing journey, you did. Step 5, find your purpose. Use your experience to fuel something meaningful. Maybe, like Hannah, you'll help others facing similar challenges. Or perhaps, like Steve, you'll channel your resilience into building something new. Your trauma doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of a powerful new chapter. It can be the origin story of your superhero journey. And finally, step 6, share your story. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, share your journey. Your story has the power to inspire, to heal, to change lives. Don't underestimate the impact your voice can have. You could be the reason someone decides to hold on for one more day. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but in practice, it's harder than trying to nail jelly to a tree. And you're right. The journey from trauma to triumph is often long and challenging. There will be days when you want to give up, when the pain feels too much to bear. But I want you to remember something. You are stronger than you know. You have a resilience within you that can overcome any obstacle. Think about it. You've already survived 100% of your worst days. You're still here, still fighting. That's not just survival. That's strength. That's resilience. And that's the foundation of your triumph. As we wrap up our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. Today, right now, I want you to take one small step towards your triumph. Maybe it's making that phone call to a therapist you've been putting off. Maybe it's opening up to a friend about what you're going through. Maybe it's simply looking in the mirror and saying, I am resilient, I am strong, I will triumph. Whatever that step is for you, take it. Because here's the truth. Your trauma may be part of your story, but it doesn't have to be the end of your story. You have the power to write a new chapter, a chapter of resilience, of strength, of triumph. Remember Lacole Smith, whose car accident could have been the end of her story, but instead became the beginning of a powerful journey of resilience and inspiration. Remember Hannah Booker, who rose from the depths of abuse and addiction to become a beacon of hope for others. Remember Steve Bacon, who refused to let his traumatic childhood define his future. Remember Joy and her family, who found strength in unity and support. And most importantly, remember this, you are not alone. Your pain is valid, your struggle is real, but so is your strength, so is your potential for triumph. As you leave this talk today, I want you to carry with you not just the stories you've heard, but the knowledge that you too have a story of triumph waiting to be written. Your journey from trauma to triumph starts now. It starts with one small step, one moment of courage, one decision to believe in your own resilience. So let me ask you one final question. What will your triumph look like? And more importantly, what step will you take today to move towards it? Your trauma is not your destiny. Your resilience is. The world is waiting for your story of triumph. It's time to rise from the ashes, to unleash your inner phoenix. Because you, yes, you have the power to turn your trauma into triumph. And when you do, you won't just change your own life. You'll change the world. Now go out there in triumph. We're all rooting for you.